Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. How you doing today? It's Friday. Your weekend is upon you, you working class people. I've been there and done that, so it's my turn to chill out. I'm back to do a little, we're going to go over the upcoming game for Sunday. The Bears are going to Tampa Bay, Florida, to play Tampa Bay. Oh boy, going to be another one. This is actually going to be harder than last week's game, because they're just a really, really good team. So let's do a little stats first, okay? Actually, I don't need my glasses. So the Bears are 3-3. Tampa Bay is 5-1, and the Bears have played Tampa Bay 60 times in their time together, and they lead it 40-20, which is kind of nice. And I totally forgot this. Back in the day, before 2001, the NFC was different. The leagues, the divisions were different, and so. So for a long time, the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Chicago Bears were in the same division, the NFC Central, and that was for 25 years, from 1977 to 2001, and then they moved. But I thought that was interesting because I completely forgot about that. Yeah, so they changed things up in 2001. They moved teams around and made them a little bit more... because more teams came into the league, so they had to change. More expansion teams came into the league, so they had to change the divisions around. So, so for 25 years, we were in the same division, and it's interesting, isn't it? So, kind of glad we're not playing them every year right now. It's bad enough we have to play the fucking Packers. And I do apologize. I just said it again. I did say the F word a lot last week because I was really mad on Monday. So, all right, let's forget about that game. So, all right, let's just do a few stats. We're only going to do a few because we all know he's good. And Tampa Bay's good. They won the Super Bowl, and they're picked up right where they left off last year. So Tampa Bay is first in passing, no shock, and he's getting about 340 yards a game. Yeah, I know. Nowhere near Fields. We do have them beat in rushing. They're 28th in rushing out of 32 teams, and they get about 85 rushes per game, 85 yards per game. They points scored, they're third in the league they score an average of 28 points a game, beating us big time there. And points allowed, we're kind of close. They allow 24 points a game. And Brady has been sacked 9 times by the opposing defenses, and their defense has have sacked other quarterbacks 12 times. So we got him there. We definitely got him there. Brady has 2,064 total passing yards. Oh, my God. He is a good, isn't he? Woo, baby. Yeah. So he's going to be doing a lot of passing this week. I'm sure when he saw the game film of the Chicago Bears secondary, he's like licking his lips. I'm going to eat them up and spit them out. So it's going to be a tough game. Definitely harder than Rodgers. He's better than Rodgers, hands down. Okay, so the Bears are... dead last in passing. They're 32nd in the league out of 32 teams. They go they're 117 passing yards per game. Not good. That's a rookie quarterback. I mean and he's only played 5? This will be his 5th start. So that has a lot to do with it too. We beat them in rushing. We're 7th in the league in rushing with 129 yards per game. So we got them there. We definitely don't have them here. We're 30th out of 32 teams with points scored. We do an average of 16 points a game. Points allowed by our defense, we're better than they are. We're doing about 20 per game. It averages out to 20 per game. Fields has been sacked 18 times. Oh my God, poor kid. And then our defense leads the league in 21 sacks. So that's awesome. I hope they keep that up, although it's going to be tough this week. It's going to be a really tough game. I know we beat them last year. We beat them 20-19. I believe it was the second game of the season. But Brady had only been with the team a short time, and they were still figuring out and getting used to each other. And then they just got better and better and better every game last year, and they obviously won the Super Bowl. Okay, so not an easy game, but you know what? In some ways it does Fields good to be facing these good defenses and these good teams because it gives him the experience he needs. If he played crappy teams all the time, he wouldn't have that real, this defense is going to come after him. So the Bears beat Tampa Bay in the three categories, as I told you: rushing, points allowed by the defense, and sacks. And that's it. So that's not too good. So Tampa Bay's definitely got the upper hand on us. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so the Bears will need to do the usual to beat Tampa Bay. The O-line has to really step up this week and really block because this is a better defense than Green Bay was. Definitely a better defense. And they've got to give Fields time to scan the field and throw the ball more. We really need to get going with that. I'd like to see that more, but it just depends if we can. I'm hoping we can use our tight ends a little bit more this week out in the catching part of their job rather than blocking. But if the line does not do their job, then we're going to have to pull our tight ends in to be the outside blockers. So we may have to use them this week. I'm not sure. And of course, we're going to have to run the ball. We're going to have to be able to run the ball. It's very important. And Herbert, number 24, he's behind Williams. I think he should start because he had more yards last week, and he looks good. He reminds me of Walter a little bit, and he never stops, and that was Walter. Those legs just kept on going. Walter never stopped. Walter never went out of bounds. He would hit the other guy, and that's what Herbert, number 24, the young rookie running back, looks. So I'd like to see Laser, our offensive coordinator, get some runs in there and get this kid going right off the bat. Because, again, when you have a lot of rushing yards, and we need over 100 this week for sure, it keeps Brady and his offense off the field. That means we're running down the field, and you're wearing out their defense, and that's what we want to do. So the only way we're going to win this game is to keep him off the field and wear down their defense. Kind of like last week. It's kind of the same thing, but a little bit stepped up level because they're just better. And our defense really has to make Brady feel uncomfortable. They got to be in his face all day because he, out of all the quarterbacks out there, really hates being guys getting in his face. He'll get pissed, and he'll start yelling at his teammates. So if we can do that, we did it the first half last week with Green Bay, but we did not continue it the second half. I don't know what happened. Probably Green Bay made adjustments with their line and stopped us from coming after him. But we gotta be all day. Our defensive line. The problem there is, though, it's been Quinn and Mack, and then that opens up for the other guys who have gotten sacks. But Quinn was put on the COVID list earlier in the week, which pisses me off. These guys have got to be careful. I don't know if they're all vaccinated or what, if these are breakthrough cases, but they got to be careful because we really are depending on them. And I doubt that he'll be back. You never know. He might test negative and he can play. I'm sure they'll put him in if he tests negative on Sunday morning. But so if he's not in, I don't know. Then they're going to be after Mack, and then I don't know if we're going to be able to get those sacks or not. So it's real important to see if we can get Quinn in there. These penalties. I mean, and when I'm doing the show. My internet was down, so I could not get on to see the injuries. But It's the usual suspects on the injury report. Well, we know Quinn's out. Mack hasn't played all week. He's been hurt all season between a knee and a foot. But everybody was just, there was some probable and this and that. There wasn't anybody really worrisome except for Quinn out. So it'll be really interesting to see. I really hope Quinn plays, but if he doesn't, we're in trouble. The Bears secondary, as we know, is just terrible. So as I said earlier in the show, Brady's probably just licking his chops going, yeah, we're going to have a day for sure. And so this secondary, I don't know. They got to find somebody or something to make this work because Jalen Johnson, number 33, cannot do it all. He is about the only one that's been consistent. 38, Gibson Sr., he's good and he's bad. He's good, he's bad, and God, the other guy, he's number 4. I can't even think of his name, but he is not the greatest tackler, so he has his problems. So our secondary is something we've really got to work on in the offseason. Getting rid of Fuller was just a huge mistake. You know what? Everything fell apart. So it's tough. We got to work on that secondary. So it'll be very interesting to see what the Bears do for that. And, it would really help if the Bears could get some turnovers. That would help the Bears a lot and their secondary. And the Bears need to win the time of possession, as I always say every week, because you win the time of possession, then you keep their offense and their quarterback off the field. And that is huge. And they've done it in their wins this year. And in their losses, they have not. So I'm just saying that is just a fact. And my bugaboo, I can't hear you. Penalties. They got to keep them to 5 or under. Like last week, they had 7 or 8, and they came at bad times, just bad times. And I'm going to talk about the penalties in a minute, but they've really got to keep them down. It's just sloppiness, and a lot of them were on defense. There was a couple bullshit ones last week, but they gotta keep focused and play. No mistakes. It's got to be mistake-free, and we all know it. And, I want to say something about, let's talk about the penalties. So I wanted to bring this up. My daughter-in-law brought something up last week when we were watching the game, and it was just like, I was like, yeah, isn't that the truth? So when the Bears got that stupid taunting penalty, my daughter-in-law said, the thing about this taunting penalty, she was asking us, and we were explaining it to her, and she's like, well, it sounds like it's a very interpretational type of penalty. Everybody's going to interpretate the tauntingness different. And I was like, exactly. And with penalties, in my opinion, penalties should be black and white. They did it or they didn't. So this taunting penalty that we put in this year is ridiculous because it is really, I've seen worse in other games and never called. And I watch a lot of football on Sunday. So I see it and they don't get called, and then I see it and it gets called for stupid stuff. So you cannot have an interpretation penalty in there. It does not work. They have to be cut and dry, black and white penalties, right? So you know what? That one's been killing us this year, just killing us. And it is football, for cripe's sake. These guys are worked up there, and unless they're saying something really nasty, cut it out, refs. It's bullshit. Keep those hankies, yellow hankies, in your back pocket, all right? And something else I'd like to speak to on Monday's show. I was making a point about how maybe had Dalton been in that game, we might have had a better chance to win over Fields because Fields is inexperienced and he's learning, and there's nothing wrong with that. And people took it the wrong way. I was just making a point that you've got Dalton and you got Fields. You've got experience, you've got inexperience. So I've seen on Facebook and I've seen on other places people getting on the Bears for losing and getting on Fields. And I'm like, and so on Monday I was trying to make the point of you got to pick your poison. Do you want the experience in there and better chance to win? Not saying we're going to win, but we have a better chance, or inexperience. and get him what he needs to learn this year. And, obviously the Bears have put him in. And I like that he's in. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to be an up and down year. It's not going to be, we're not going to the playoffs, people, because Fields is in there and he's got to learn. And it is a good thing for him to learn. But people really took my comments the wrong way. And maybe I'm just crappy at explaining myself, which isn't all that surprising, because you remember, pickled. But I was just pointing out, let's not get on this kid. He's the starter of the rest of the season unless something happens, and God forbid he gets hurt. So it's going to be good and bad games. He's going to do the good things, and he's going to do the bad things. And he's got a lot to learn, like miss open receivers or throw interceptions or throw over guys, and he's going to take off running when he doesn't always necessarily have to. So those are just the points I was making. I'm glad he's in there. I want him in there. I always want to win, and I always want to go to the playoffs. But if somebody says to me, Lynn, we're going to put him in there, and next year we're going to be good, then I'm down. Of course, we don't know that for sure. So I don't know, guys. We're going to have to see. But that was all. So I got some comments, and I was like, God, I don't think people understood what I was saying. So, sometimes I don't, it's up here in my head, and it don't come out here right. That's just how I am. That's your host. You know that by now, don't you? Come on now. It's a late game. It starts at 3:20, 3:15 in Chicago, 1:20 here or whatever. And it's going to be a tough one. So we just have to sit back and just hope that, they do those things I say every week. I know it's sounding like a broken record, but it is the honest to God truth. If they keep those things down, and they keep the penalties down, they get some turnovers, they stay on the field a lot, they have a chance. There's no doubt they're underdogs here. So let's, we love our team. True Bears fans. That was the other thing I saw some people like, oh, I'm done. Blah, 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 blah. See, those are not true Bear fans. I and my son and some friends of mine who watch games never miss a game. I never miss a game. I've been watching since 1975, nonstop, and I can count probably on one hand how many games I've missed, seriously. So let's stick with our team, let's support them, and let's just cross our fingers that maybe we'll get an upset. And they'll be talking about us on Monday, and then I can do the Bear Down victory song for you on Monday, because I know you're all really wanting to hear that. So anyways, so I'm going to do a little game starting today. So there's something on my set that I've had the same set this whole season. It's a different set from last year. And there's something on the set that's been there since I started the preseason show and in the regular season that really doesn't belong. And I'm wondering if anybody has noticed it there. And if you have, put it in the comment sections on under the show, and I can see. And then by the end of the year, I'm going to keep tally. Each week, I'm going to do a different thing on my set to see if you notice if I've changed something, okay? This week, I haven't really, I moved the thing, but it's been on the set the entire time, okay? And, what was I going to say? See, when you get to my age, man, you could be thinking something and it just right out of your head. So, yes, so I'm going to keep track on every week how many people get it right, who gets it right, and the winner gets taken out to dinner. But it has to be in Vegas, baby. So, but you never know, right? So, let's hope that we get a good game this week. This show isn't going to be super long. I love you guys, you know that. Let's hope Quinn gets off the COVID list. And, you know, we've only had a couple guys put on COVID, so I guess it could be worse. I just wish they weren't on it at all. Well, I'm just so done with the COVID thing and wearing the damn mask, because here in Vegas, it's everywhere. And it's just getting annoying as hell. I'm sure everybody else agrees with me. Although, depending on where you live, you might not have masks. So, oh, well, what are you going to do? So, don't forget to look the set over. Put your comments, what you think doesn't belong on the set that has been there all year so far. And then we'll see who the winner is. And I just, again, want to thank you, fans, watchers. You're very supportive. I love seeing people watching the show. Yeah, it's not like, some of the shows where we get deep and this and that. It's just a lighthearted, fun show. We have a lot of fun. And I get you ready for the game, and then we talk about the game. So, go Bears. I really do hope they upset Tampa Bay because, again, the rest of the year, we've got a tough schedule. Well, again, I told you in the beginning of the season, the Bears had the third toughest schedule this year. Yeah, I'm like, what the? I looked at Green Bay's schedule the rest of the year. A fucking joke, okay? There's no way they're not going to win the division, okay? So prepare yourself for that because they've got an easy peasy schedule. So that jerk of a quarterback, that big old all about me, is going to win the division, guys. So, sorry. So, go Bears. Let's get an upset on Sunday. Why the hell not? You're in Florida, baby. Anything can happen in Florida. We know that. I don't got to tell you watchers that. So, and as always, I like to end the note on a nice sentiment. I always do. Trying to get back to him. I'm trying to move. Excuse me. I'm sorry. All right. This is pissing me off. Oh, there we are. Okay. I'm back. So, as always, let's work on kindness. Let's erase unkindness. Let's be kind to each other. Let's get rid of prejudice. Let's do this together. Let's be one. Treat people with kindness. Things are going to be bad the rest of the year. Inflation is real high. I went to the grocery store today. I couldn't believe it. I'm one person, for Christ's sake. And, it's just the prices are terrible. Gasoline, this and that. And so, it's going to be a rough year. Holidays are coming again, with the COVID and this and that. So let's just be really kind to one another and smile at somebody today. Help somebody out if they need it. A neighbor's in a bad place or you're seeing somebody having a hard time, help them. Because you don't know what's going on in their lives. And let's put, just all the negativity that's going on right now out of our mind. Let's be positive and bring this country back to the greatness it is. And all my subscribers are great people. I know that. You all are. And I just wish we could spread the love and joy around. So try to do that, all right? Because we are Bears fans and we rock, okay? We are Bears fans and we rock, baby. And yeah, so please, for me, okay? And have a great weekend. Let's go for that upset on Sunday because that would make our day. And then, Monday is the victory song by you-know-who. I know, you cannot wait because this face is going to sing if they win. Yeah, baby. Okay. So I love you guys, and I appreciate the support, and let's see what happens, because it's going to be, we don't want that cannon going off a lot in Raymond Stadium, because every time they score a touchdown, they blow that damn cannon off, okay? I'm going to blow that cannon up if it goes off too much on Sunday. I'm just saying. All right. So, as always, I love you. And keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. And I'll see you guys on a Monday. And hopefully, it'll be a victory. Right on, baby. Oh, and I forgot. Here is some really, really great news. I am going to be a grandma for the first time. My son and his beautiful wife are expecting their first baby, and it's a boy. So the next Bears fan is going to be born in April 2022. And I cannot wait to get my hands on that little guy and teach him all about football and all about the Bears. So I'm a happy lady. Can you tell? I'm going to be a grandma. I know I don't look like old enough to be a grandma. I know. Keep all your flatteries. Stop it, you guys. I'm blushing, but I am gonna be. So I almost forgot to tell you that. I've been dying to tell you guys, and they wouldn't let me. But today they let me. So that's great news, isn't it? So starting next year, I'll be sitting next to my grandbaby watching the Bears games and doing the shows, and he'll appear on the show next season too. I promise. All right. Again, as always, I love you, and keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. See ya Monday.